brother.
You know, when they ask you that, you just say yes.
Soup salad or breadsticks?
I would love this.
Yes.
I would love the super salad.
Welcome, my friends, to another episode of the Super Salad Podcast. I am your host, OG Rachel, and I am here with my friends, Brother Nate. Brother Nate, are you here?
I am here. Say my name and I appear. I am here, my friend, and excited to talk about the topics that we have on Super Salad this week. It's been too long, my friend. I've missed you.
Yes, I know. Summer got very busy very suddenly, and I was just like, oh no.
As it always does.
And I was so excited to see Supergirl, and then I couldn't see it for the longest time, and I was just like,
The older we get, the shorter our summers get.
Yes. I even I had to buy a Supergirl phone case because I love Superman and Supergirl properties. So I saw this and I was like, I need it.
You know, one of my favorite parts about Supergirl and Superman, for that matter, Rachel, and I'm gonna try to work this into a segue. I don't know if I can. I feel like I'm already up in the air. It's Crypto. Crypto is a lovable, helpful, sometimes harmful companion to Kara and Clark and
also apparently a plot device.
Yes, and also apparently a plot device, much like the third member of the Super Salad team. He's our producer. And we love him even when sometimes he gets a little unruly. So y'all give it up for maybe the biggest shock of all to me this summer, Rachel. Ray Williams is famous for not watching movies. Ray went out to the theaters and watched Supergirl, so he's going to join us in our conversation this week. Ray, get on out here.
So excited.
Arf, arf, arf. I'm Crypto, y'all.
Hey, who knows, man? We can submit that to James Gunn. Maybe you could be the next Crypto voice actor.
Right.
Featuring Ray Williams as Crypto, the super dog.
Just like Donald Glover being the voice actor for Yoshi.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm like, what? Okay.
Good work if you can get it.
You got like third billing, right? After Supergirl and Ruthie, it's like Crypto, you know.
Yeah, always a pleasure to join you folks. And yes, I did take my biannual trek to the cinema. So we could definitely get into what we thought of the movie, and also the conversation around the movie as far as how it did and how it performed and what were the reasons. So I'm definitely excited to talk.
Ray, you know, biannual means every 2 years, not twice a year.
Or what? Semi-annual? There you go.
Semi-annual, there you go.
All right. Yeah.
You were stuck on the bicentennial.
That's gonna bother me.
Well, after the pandemic, it was biannual, and then I just eased back in.
Now it's semi-annual.
Yeah, semi-annual.
Sounds good.
Ray watches movies like the World Cup, like every 2 to 4 years. But we all watched Supergirl, the second feature film in the new DCU, spearheaded by James Gunn. And first film was Superman, a film that all of us watched and enjoyed. The second film is, spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen the movie, you need to leave. But no, not really. I mean, if you don't care about being spoiled,
you can stay, but we will be spoiling.
But we will be spoiling the movie. But this is the second outing for the DCU. And this is Supergirl, directed by Craig Gillespie and starring Millie Adcock. and not Ray Williams as Crypto. But Rach, I figure the best way to kind of do this instead of going like scene by scene is kind of like we did with Superman, just kind of give a general plot synopsis and talk about some of the characters, talk about what we loved, what we liked, what we may not have liked. So I will lend the floor to you, my friend, and you can take us in the direction that you feel we need to go.
All right. So Supergirl, of course, we get like a brief gap of Supergirl in the Superman movie, and it was really just setting us up for this movie. Mm-hmm. If you know a little bit about Kara's storyline, she grew up on Krypton. She didn't get the same background as Clark, where he got kicked off as an infant. I did think it was interesting because they do some flashbacks on this one. It does feel like they changed the timeline up a bit. Because in previous iterations, it had been that Kara was Clark's like older cousin, and she was there for the destruction of Krypton, and then also got sent down, but her ship got stuck in like suspended animation or something, so she didn't get to Earth until Clark was already grown. But in this timeline, they show that Kara actually was not born for the destruction of Krypton. She was conceived after that. And while she was in the city of Argo with her parents, that was like preserved by her father's force field. So she grew up there. And then when that place was failing, I was like, oh, this is deja vu, another city of Krypton failing. But she was then slipped to Earth and is now younger than him technically. So interesting little background, but we get a brief background of Kara from Superman, where she's kind of going off planet and not really taking her super duties, as Clark would put it, very seriously. So we catch up with her. She's kind of going around getting wasted, dealing with her stuff. She's, grieving the loss of her family and all that stuff. And it's obviously a lot to go through. And then we meet a ugly looking motherfucker with a bunch of piercings on his face. I'm gonna hate this bitch. That was my immediate reaction. And he's like going into this house, and I was like, okay, great, we're gonna get some trauma now. And he shows up to this family, and they're like, here, we'll give you the weapons you want. You clearly want all these weapons. Now leave. And he's like, can I eat your pie first? And the mom's like, okay, I guess. So he eats the pie, and then he kills their older brother and kills the parents and this small, adorable child who we later find out is named Ruthie, which is a very Earth-friendly name for some random planet. But anyway, this adorable child named Ruthie gets out of there. She gets a sword, and she's like, I'm going to avenge my parents or my family, not just my parents. Very early Arya Stark on Game of Thrones, in my opinion. Yeah, that's the ugly motherfucker. I'm sure he has a name. I did not memorize it, what it is. But so he makes an enemy of Ruthie. Ruthie meets up with Kara. Ruthie gives out her whole, I'm going to avenge my parents, and I need someone to help me because I'm a 13-year-old child, etc. And I'll give you this sword. And everyone, there's some jerks at the bar. They don't take her seriously, and Kara saves her butt because Kara's a good person, even though she's like completely wasted and doesn't have her powers because this is a red sun planet. So then Kara is like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But she goes back to her ship, and Ruthie's still there, and the bad guys come, and they end up shooting Crypto with some sort of like poison tranquilizer. Kara's very much not a fan of that, as I'm sure you can see. And they bring the dog to some, I guess, healer person who's basically like, I can't do anything without the antidote. And they carry the antidote on their person because apparently they only shoot dogs with very specific poison that they only carry the antidote to. So sure, plot device. And Ruthie's like, this is perfect. You'll help me kill him. And Kara's like, no. And you'll slow me down. Don't stay with me, small child. And then you're like, okay, obviously she's going to take the small child and they're going to be a team up, and like, okay, fair enough. So Kara's tracking him, and they like go on a bus, and then the bus gets raided by pirates. I was going to say time pirates, but that's not the right series. Tech pirates, and Kara does some butt kicking. They get the bus raided. They get the pirates, they get a location from them. They meet up on a planet with two people that are like, we're going to help you find them. Very seriously. Yep. Definitely nothing shady going on here. So we're like, okay, great. They're going to sell them out. So they bring them to their house, and then they inevitably sell them out because they're good people. They're just trying to get their daughter back. Good people. And Ruthie is trying to kill the guy, and Kara's like, no, you can't kill the guy. And Ruthie's like, why not? And Kara gives us some backstory, and she's like, it's not going to make you feel better. It'll just haunt you, blah, 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 all that stuff. So the bad guys attack something with the B. I don't know. The bad guys attack, and they kill a bunch of people, and Kara is able to free the brides. Oh, yes, because these evil people have an all-male alien race, which is great. And so they need to kidnap, I suppose, Mary, and rape women and girls to continue their evil fucking alien race. So there's a whole bunch of girls they kidnapped, and that's why they'd kidnapped this kind couple's daughter, who then go and sell them out. So Kara does a lot of that. She frees a bunch of wives, but our kind couple and their daughter end up getting killed in the throes of it, and Ruthie gets very mad because if Kara let her kill the guy because she thought she was in the position to do so, they would have been alive. Yada yada, drama, etc. Then they go to a planet where they track their next location to that is between a yellow sun and a green sun. And Nate, maybe you can help me out here, because I had certainly never heard of a green sun before. Is that an invention from this movie?
Yeah, so this film was based on the comic The Woman of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Which I haven't read, and I still haven't read, but I want to check it out to see kind of the similarities and differences between Supergirl. So, like, I know about the yellow sun, like that's abundant in Superman and Supergirl media. But like, yeah, I had no idea what the green sun was. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's a choice specifically made for this movie by Gunn and Gillespie and the team, or if this is something actually pulled from Woman of Tomorrow.
Because I can't be too suspicious, because on Smallville it was like, oh, there's kryptonite everything, and there's just there's like kryptonite gum in an episode, like all
red
this
K, green K.
Yeah, well, all different types of green kryptonite, and then all different types of other color kryptonite that is also
yes.
other things. So kryptonite everywhere all the time. So
just throw a rock at it and you'll find kryptonite. In fact, Ray, the rock is kryptonite.
Basically, it's all over. Well, that's why they had the second meteor shower, so they could have the second round of meteor freaks that didn't exist after the first round. Smallville history. So the green sun, I don't know. I guess it's infected with meteor rock or something. Blah blah blah. So Kara gets like sick when she's there, and realize that they like drew her there because it would be her weakness. Yada yada. They also met Lobo on the last planet. Oh gosh.
Ray put that man Lobo on the Summer Jam stage.
Oh, yes.
And I personally fully support this casting.
Jason Momoa as Lobo.
I love Jason Momoa so much. And he was perfect. Absolutely perfect in this role.
I think this, like, he actively, because when James Gunn came in, like, there was like, is Aquaman still going to be a thing? Because that last Aquaman movie still had to come out. But
right.
Mo and Gunn, I guess he was like, yeah, man, you're perfect for Lobo. And yeah, Lobo was, one of my favorite characters of the movie, even though, like, I don't think I'd want to hang out with Lobo, Rachel.
He didn't actually do too much, but I was very glad he was there. Some much needed comic relief, and it was otherwise a pretty serious movie. And you know what? If Marvel can like triple cast actors in the MCU, I don't see why DC can't too. So Jason Momoa is brilliant. Fully support his casting. He was trying to track down one of the other fuckers on the gang of misfits. I was going to say Lobo is like one of the very few DC universe people that's not in Smallville in some way, which is surprising because they put like absolutely everybody in Smallville. So I think my first introduction to him was Young Justice.
Okay.
Interesting. But
so you never watched Superman the animated series from back in the day?
I did watch that, but I think I watched Young Justice first.
Okay.
And when I was going through everything, so I've seen a couple iterations of him. But I thought Jason Momoa was fantastic. So he's a bounty hunter. He's also chasing somebody on the gang, comedic relief. So they're on the planet with between the green and the yellow sun, and Ruthie goes and gets herself captured because she's trying to do something. I don't know. She was trying to get water for Kara. She gets captured. She's like in the prison, and she's like, Lobo, help me, because Lobo is also in the prison for some reason. Help me break out. And they talk and have some entertaining conversations. And Ruthie breaks out, and Jason Momoa has this great scene where he's like, I am so proud of you. I love that personally. Love that. So Kara, then the yellow sun rises and the green sun goes away. Okay, sure. And Kara gets like her powers back. And then they have a big fight scene on like the deck of a ship, I think. I don't know. Sure, why not? Good place for a fight scene. They, get all the bad people. They're able to free the brides. I hate that word. Sorry, in this context. I hate that word in this context. And Ruthie has the evil guy with the sword, and she's going to kill him. And Kara's like, don't do it, Ruthie. It'll change you into somebody else, blah, 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 blah. And so Ruthie doesn't, and she walks away. And then Kara's like, but I can kill you.
Right.
That was my favorite part of the movie, personally. She takes the sword, and she's like, that's for my dog. And then stabs him again. It's like, that's what you did for that little girl. So I personally love that part because I was like, no way Kara's going to let this bastard live. But yeah, then they go and they celebrate Kara's birthday because they never got to do that. And Ruthie assumedly goes back to like living with her aunt or something on her planet. They didn't really follow up on that. And Kara comes back to Earth and is like, okay, Clark, I'm totally in for the win now and for the next movie that we're coming out. So I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fun.
Okay.
I think it very much felt like a prequel to the next Superman movie more than like an independent character movie.
Okay.
Like it feels like if we were just in a Superman series and the second movie in the Superman series featured Supergirl and then they did a prequel of Supergirl's backstory, that would be this movie. So it kind of felt like an addition to the Superman series from there. So,
okay.
But yeah, that was the plot breakdown with my thoughts, a little bit of my thoughts added. Nate, why don't you tell us about your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, so and I want to hear from Ray too because Ray actually went and saw a movie, his semi-annual trip to the theater.
Oh yes, of course.
But I think the first thing that I thought about Rachel was like, what is this movie going to be? Because you're right, we do get this glimpse of Kara from the end of Superman.
Yes.
And so coming into the theaters, because I watched the original trailer, which I think had the Blondie song as the backing track. And so I watched the trailer, but I didn't watch anything else. That's typically how I watch these superhero movies these days because there's too much stuff in the trailers. So I watched the first trailer, but didn't watch anything else, then went to the theater. And so this movie, to your point, Rachel, it was probably a little bit more serious than I expected going into it, particularly when you got the theme of like Ruthie trying to avenge her parents' murder, where you've got, basically this trafficking ring that these pirates are running with these women. Kind of the debate of, should we just capture Krim, who to me, he reminded me of a Pinhead from Hellraiser. The way his face was, should we capture Krim or should we kill him? Kind of that age-old debate. Why didn't Batman just kill the Joker and get it over with? And then, like you said, we had Jason Momoa as the comic relief with Lobo. So there was a lot that I enjoyed about the film. I think Millie Adcock surprised me because I was not familiar with her game as an actress. And there was a lot more that she had to do in this film because it's almost funny because I kind of feel like Millie was in the same position that Anthony Mackie was in last year, where it's like, now you have to lead this thing. You know what I mean? You're just not a supporting character. And so like I thought a lot of the action was good. I don't know, Ray. Like I kind of understand why they use crypto as the plot device in this film, but it's almost like we just kind of had crypto as a plot device in the last film. Yeah. And it's like I think we needed him here. I don't think we needed him in Superman, even though I love the crypto stuff. In Superman, if they were going to run it back here, I think they could have cut it out of Superman. But overall, I think I enjoyed it, man. I think I like what Millie brought to the character. Like you said, Rachel, that scene at the end where she's been telling Ruthie this whole time, like, no, you can't kill Krim. You know, that's going to change you in ways that you can't come back from. But then, you know, she finally gets Ruthie to relent, and then she's like, no, but I can't. Because she's already got it read in her ledger, in her mind.
Yeah.
I
really like that scene. You can finish. Sorry. I was
just gonna say, so like I'm interested in what that means for Kara going forward, because I wrestled with that decision, Rachel, like coming out of the theater. I was like, did I like that? Like in the moment, I was like, okay, I like that, but then I was like, how does that like? I think it's a good question to have, Ray. Like, how does this inform Kara's character going forward? Because we know her cousin is, you know, Mr. Optimism, Mr. Hopeful. And so is that going to cause any friction with them in the way that they both kind of do their jobs in this franchise? So, but yeah, I'd say overall, Rachel, you know, because we talked a little bit before the show, and me and Ray talked a little bit earlier this week. I don't want to be the party pooper, but I may be a little bit more down on the film than you and Ray, but I still enjoyed it. I still had a pretty good time with it. I just think, and you know, that's the reason I named the episode White Girl Wasted, not just because Kara get drunk on her birthday and whatnot, and on any day that ends with Y at the beginning of the film, but because I do think there was some things that they may have left on the table. Again, I'm coming in ignorant from the comic stuff because I never read Woman of Tomorrow, but it just kind of felt like, it's the cake is almost there, Rachel.
Yeah.
But I feel like we either took the cake out of the oven too soon, like a minute too soon, or a minute too late. Yeah.
No, I feel that. And I think one of the reasons I did like the moment where she does kill him, the earlier scene when Ruthie gets mad about her not letting her kill him, and the family gets killed. She says, she's like, they wouldn't have died if you just let me kill him. And I think for Kara, that's what it comes down to. And it was that if I leave this person alive, he's going to continue to hurt people. He's going to continue to kill people. And like, I am personally not willing to let that happen. So she made the hard choice. And personally, I appreciate that in a character. I think Superman and Batman's whole, like, I'm never going to kill anybody thing can get old, especially when them choosing to keep these people alive causes more deaths. So I personally appreciate that Kara had the gusto to go forth with that. And I think it also shows in this, when Kara is like in the cave scene, when she's being poisoned by kryptonite and she's having flashbacks of her mother and her feelings. And there's this one scene where she says, you know, you have to be good. That doesn't mean you can't be tough or that you always have to be nice, but you have to be good.
Yes.
And that's kind of what she's reflecting on. And I appreciate that she can make those choices and still fundamentally be a person that's fighting for good. I don't think it was a choice she made lightly at all. You know, I don't think she's going to be going around offing people because she thinks it's for some amorphous force of the greater good. I don't think that's her. But I think she's a person that is willing to sacrifice to, you know, make sure the people around her are safe. And I personally, I like that because I think Superman and Batman's outlook on that is problematic isn't the right word because it's virtually unproblematic, but it's not always realistic. I'll say that. I feel like her view is grounded more in reality, the reality that we/they live in, because obviously it's slightly different, but based on the same stuff.
Before we hear from Ray Rach, because you mentioned off the top how this Kara is a little bit different from the Kara we saw in the Supergirl TV show with Melissa Benoist.
A little.
I don't know why I just made her super duper French. Melissa Benoist. Or the Supergirl that we saw like on Justice League or Superman the Animated Series, where like there is a difference, particularly when you contrast her with Clark.
Yes.
What did you make of the choice to have her basically, not be, I guess cognizant would be the word, of the destruction and have, just kind of be a baby kind of trying to relive these memories? Right.
So I think overall it added to making her more jaded about everything that had gone on. Because initially I was like, oh, she didn't see the destruction of Krypton. She's going to have like a better view on things, but that did not seem to be the case. I think It was the fact that she saw the aftermath, in that she saw how people were suffering, particularly how her mother suffered and ultimately died, and that, Argo was ultimately blowing up as well. Seeing the consequences of choices that were made. I think her seeing that, and especially, they go through the funeral sequence with her mother. I think that kind of put her in a place where she was more jaded going forward, and less idealistic. Because we talked about in Superman, a lot of Clark's goodness was that he had this happy childhood in Kansas with these awesome people, Kents. And he, believes in the goodness of humanity, as well as other creatures that occupy the cosmos. Kara very much does not have that. She has experienced a lot of pain and a lot of grief, and she's, she really sees herself in Ruthie. And I'm going to let Ray get to his point, but the one other thing I did want to mention was I appreciate how they distinguish her parents from Clark's parents.
Yeah.
Because I knew that was something they were going to have to touch on, because obviously something we know from Superman was that Clark's Kryptonian parents, had a pretty bad outlook, and thought that he should be a god among people and, conquering humanity. And we see that's obviously not how Clark played out. But so we say, okay, if that's what Kara is also raised with, is she, she's going to have this terrible personality where she rules over people. But that's not the case, because they show, I think Zor-El has the scene where he's like, oh, my crazy brother is going to send his child to be like the god among men. And we see Kara talking to her mother and her father, when the scene where her father sends her off in the pod, and saying, that's not what we want for you. We sacrificed, we got this whole city away from Krypton and everything, because like, we want you to be better. We want you to help people. And I think that was a very intentional choice, that made Kara more well-rounded, so that she was still able to ultimately get to that place where she still wanted to fight for good, even though her parents were, even though she was jaded by her experiences, she still ultimately did want to fight for good.
Yeah, I don't really have too much, at least to say specifically about like plot points, because I'm not a big comic book aficionado as each of you are. I basically just tune into like the stuff that comes on television every now and then. Even then, I'm not as big as a fan as you are, but I try to glimpse at it from a distance. So I am aware. First off, it was a good point that you made, Brother Nate, that they're usually, well, in comic book lore, she's supposed to be older than him. And it's funny, like you did mention, like whatever media or art iteration like outside of the comic books, it always seems to play Supergirl as younger. And I love how in one scene between Ruthie and Kara, they kind of played with that. And it was like, well, why is he Superman and you Supergirl? And she was like, don't worry about it.
I love that.
So
see, there's this thing called misogyny, right?
We're going to experience a lot of that in this movie.
Mm-hmm. So it was kind of interesting how they were playing to that, and just to say, because she really like, I'm like, are you even of drinking age, girl? I don't even know. It's like you don't even look like you 21 in Earth right now. You just going around these different. I guess there's no legal age of drinking when you go to a entirely different planet.
You know what they say, Ray? Kryptonian don't crack, man. Them jeans are strong, sir.
I bet. I guess so. I guess that's what a healthy dose of the sun, that vitamin D, will do to you. I guess the yellow sun.
Yes, not that green sun.
But I thought it was decent. I thought Millie Alcock or Abcock did a fantastic job. I thought Ruthie was played great. I thought the actress that played her was great, especially being a child, and it's always kind of 50-50 with child actors. And so I like that dynamic. I agree with you, Brother Nate. I think using Crypto so prominently in the film, even though he's so cute, Crypto, I think it's like, well, what else? How else can you show the humanity without Crypto within these characters? These characters who are supposed to be or are seen as gods amongst regular beings. Like, how are you supposed to get the vulnerability and true humanity out of these particular characters, even though they're not really even human? But how do you get that sense of vulnerability and a sense of, hey, relatability out of these particular characters? I think, yeah, you can only go to the well so many times before it starts getting. I was like, all right, we love Crypto, but just focus on something else. And
Crypto
again,
was the ultimate damsel in distress.
Yes,
he was. I was like, they better not kill the dog. I was going to be so mad. So mad.
That wasn't going. You knew that wasn't going to happen.
They would. I was like, they better not, but they would.
Like Crypto signed a 3-picture deal. He gonna be all right.
Yeah, and to that particular point, it's like in no way did it feel like Kara was ever really in true danger, because it's like you were saying, Brother Nate, is like, or I think it was you, Rach, Sister Rach. We got to build to this man of tomorrow, so we got to have the whole gang. So it's like, even though there had some bits of peril in there, it's like we already know what's going to happen at the end. So it's kind of like, is it still intriguing to see her go through these things? And I think I was watching one critic who I always follow, and I tell Nate about this particular brother all the time. His name is Dan Merrill, and he's on YouTube, and he was kind of talking about how, to the point I was making about the vulnerability, especially like involving her being weak and having to kind of get back up to strength. He didn't find that, oh, well, this is the only way we can get her, is like, oh, get her on the red sun, she's weak. Oh, get her back on the regular yellow sun, now she's strong again. It's like there's no other way, there's no other dynamic to do that. And I was like, I could see where you were going with that one, especially when she was fighting. First off, I loved the bus scene, especially with the bus drivers. Those guys were but yeah, it's just like when she's fighting the space thieves, the space robbers, and then she gets ejected out, And then we're like, oh, well, how is she going to get out of this? And then lo and behold, oh, yellow sun that she's floating towards. She's freezing to death. It's like, oh,
fills your body with light
by coincidence. And then similar thing when you guys were mentioning when the evil guys, because we all know they can't be truly evil unless they try to take over women's and hold their body, take away women's bodily autonomy and try to take over them. That's how we know they're truly evil, folks. But when she had gotten on the planet to hunt down the big baddie, and then, like you mentioned, oh, it just happened to be a planet. They just knew that she was coming, and they just knew. They just out the top of their mind, they just knew that the green kryptonite was going to do something. But they didn't have the wherewithal to know that, oh, wait a minute, planets rotate. So probably in about another 12 hours.
They're not scientists, Ray. They're supervillains, man.
Planet rotate.
If only we would have went to a fully green sun planet. Oh, we didn't.
Where was the marauder with the stopwatch? Like, all right, we got about 2 more hours, Krim, before sunrise.
I know they don't keep the nerds around. You know that.
Yeah, nerds aren't good for pillaging and all that stuff. But yeah, I felt it was a decent movie. I felt the plot was what it was. To you guys' point, Jason Momoa, as my guy, comedian Rollo Boykins like to call him, Jason Mimosa, did a terrific job. Did a terrific job. And I think, like, when you can have him just be unhinged and kind of not take himself too seriously, because I think that could have been like another knock on this particular film, is that in some parts it might have taken itself a bit more seriously than it needed to be, like just be a good popcorn flick and go out here and hang out and everybody having fun. It seemed like he took that role and he was like, I'm just gonna have fun with it.
Real quick, Ray, because I want to get Rachel's thoughts on this. Do you think we had too much Lobo, just the right amount of Lobo, or not enough Lobo?
I could have gone with more Lobo.
Yeah, me too.
Honestly, it felt like he was very incidentally there. Like he wasn't actually part of the plot. He just happened to be present.
Yes.
So, and he plays into the plot a bit in the scene with Ruthie, because he kind of gets her all, all riled up and ready to break out.
Gives her the inspiration.
Gives her inspiration. And I did appreciate that scene, but he feels very incidental to the rest of it. Like he just basically happened to be there. So I would have enjoyed him being associated in the plot a bit more, because I think there was definitely potential there.
To me, I kind of feel like we maybe should have seen Lobo. Like I don't know what you think. I want to hear what you think about Lobo here in a second, Ray. Did we have too little, not enough, or too much Lobo? Or I guess too little, just the right amount, and not enough Lobo. I keep saying the same thing twice. You know what I mean, Ray Williams? I'm not a scientist. But I wonder how the film would have came off because like you said, Rach, it did feel kind of incidental that he showed up. Like, what if we had little bits and pieces of Lobo sprinkled through the beginning? Like Kara just encounters him and he's this annoying figure that just pops in for half a scene and disappears.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna go the Goldilocks route. I think it was just right. Yeah, because I think you don't want to have it to the point where they'll be like, oh, well, this is essentially just Supergirl and Lobo, and then be like, they just want to hammer.
I'd watch that, by the way, Ray Williams. If they want to do a team up movie for the sequel,
who knows? But It's just like, oh, they're just forcing Jason Momoa because he's the most recognizable name, and they're just putting them all over. So I think you did. I think you did put them in just enough. What I thought was kind of crazy is that as they were doing kind of the exposition with Kara and Ruthie, as far as her talking and telling her
and
about
Ruthie
Lobo.
was portrayed by Eva Ridley.
Yes, Eva Ridley. It was a fantastic choice for the role,
yes,
in my opinion. But Kara's just making him up to be like, oh, you don't want to mess with him. He kills gods and he does all that. And then we fast forward to the third act and he locked up. Like, come on now. How you going to be this big baddie and then they end up capturing you?
That's kind of Lobo though. Like if you've seen Lobo in other mediums, like Lobo is a badass, but he overinflates his badassery. Like Lobo's his own best hype man. And so, like, particularly on the animated series, he would come down and talk all this tough talk, the Superman of the Justice League, and he would help out Ray. But to put it in sports terminology, he was Smush Parker thinking he was Kobe Bryant.
I got you.
Like you're a good 6-man, Lobo. You giving us 15 points off the bench, but you're not a star.
I would have liked seeing how he got there. I think that would have been fun. But you know, I could have gone with more of him. Jason Momoa was great. I always think of him and Brandon Routh both being on the same soccer team in Iowa when they were growing up because they grew up in the same town, which is hilarious because they're like the same age too.
Superman and Aquaman on the same team.
I was like, that must have been a crazy soccer season.
They won like 2 games. Like, what happened, fellas?
Right.
Tiny little town in Iowa with like 300 people in it. And they got both of them.
It'd be like when I think Nate, you always bring this up on Smallville when Clark Kent's on the football team.
He played that one game
for like a quarter of a second. They're like, "Be careful, Clark! Don't hurt anybody."
He broke the kid's arm, and he's like, "I can never play football again, Pa."
It's like my powers. It's too much. I just want to be normal.
That's how Momoa and Ralph were. It was like, we don't want to take it too hard on them. We will dial it back just a little.
Insane. But kind of overall, what did you think, Ray? Like, because again, for me, I had a good time with the film. It was a little bit more, I think, serious would be the word I'd land on, Rach.
Yeah.
Like there was a bit of a darker tone than I was expecting, especially coming off of Superman, which was a little bit jarring, but at the same time, like you talked about, the way that Kara has lived her life from birth, like it kind of informs the view of the world, because we are looking at this world with Kara as our POV. As opposed to Superman, where Clark was raised by a good old all-American mom and pa, and so there's a bit more hope in his film, whereas Kara's is a bit more stark by contrast.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I kind of thought that we didn't really see what had molded. Like we saw the initial with her having to literally witness like the death of her mother and to witness like the sickness of her father, right? So we saw that particular aspect, but we didn't really see things that happened in between to kind of affect her and make her this person who was willing to take other people's lives if it meant for the good of everyone else. Because what her parents succumbed to wasn't from like an actual being, it was from just the earth or the particular soil that they were on in this particular mineral, right? So it wasn't as if there was a clear baddie or a clear villain to take out for her to get revenge on for the sake of her parents. So I wanted to see the in between to how she would get to the point where she would be willing to take out the villain. Like what were some other things within her history that would kind of help her lean towards doing that?
But to Rachel's point, Ray, I think like, yes, we didn't see any backstory, I guess, that informed that, but we did see like when she had the chance to kill old boy before, and he ended up killing the mother and the daughter. And Ruthie is like, you could have done something. And so even though it's not like history for Kara, it's this recent memory of what happened in this moment where she's up there with Krim, and she knows she don't want Ruthie to kill Krim. Like that's something that can't happen because she doesn't want to, even though Ruthie's not like an innocent child anymore, she's like, she doesn't want to take any more from this girl. And so then it's like, well, I could either tie him up somewhere and leave him for Lobo to collect the bounty, or I could take him to space jail, or I could kill him. Like, which one of those things is, because, you can't trust the space courts, right? Too many loopholes. She'll tell you she's done trials on Jupiter before.
Oh, yeah. Can't trust those bastards. I loved the line where they're going after Crab, and the boy's like, is there a bounty on his head I don't know about? I'm just... A plus for portrayal. To Ray's point, though, I agree. Honestly, I would have liked to have seen more of Kara's history, because we get like a few scenes of her on Earth with Clark, but it's like before she learns how to speak English, so it's like there's definitely a jump there. I would have liked to have her Clark like answering some of the hard questions for her, and also seeing like, what happened before? How did she get here? Because it's very clear she relates to Ruthie a lot, sees herself in Ruthie, and she says, several times, she's like, you don't want that on yourself. You don't want that in your, that you took a life, but we don't see why she knows that.
Right.
And I think that would have been effective if we had seen a little bit more of that. And that she was being much more like, not just don't take a life, but like, don't be like me. And she was trying to fight for Ruthie to have like a better future. I would have enjoyed that.
And then I think if you want to go back to around where she had to, I think you could have justified her not allowing Ruthie to go through with that, because there's no, like, you've already seen the damage that this man has already been able to inflict. There's no way that this young girl was going to be able to kill him. So I think you could have went from that aspect as though, I saved your life. There was no way you were going to kill. Even if you snuck up on him, even though Ruthie is becoming more and more like adapted, she's more skillful with like her stealth and everything, but she's still just a young, I don't want to call her a young human. Whatever planet she was flying.
A young person.
Like, it's just like you're still this young kid, and even though in your mind you thought, oh, I'm gonna attack him from behind, kill him, it's gonna be over. Like, who's to say that it would have been exactly like that? So I think that was one thing that Kara, I feel, might have been thinking in the moment, and that's why she chose to save Ruthie as opposed to take out Krem. So I think you could see it in that way. But yeah, I could totally see how that can affect her decision later on in the film. So
I do agree that it was definitely some more serious emotions, and I'll give a brief backstory here. We were going to see the movie earlier in July, and then some stuff happened, and we ended up Googling "Is Supergirl sad?" And the answer was like, oh yes, it's like the main theme is grief. And I like saw the first line or two about of a review that was like, oh, Supergirl makes no sense, it's all about sad emotions, what is this supposed to be, a Supergirl film, blah blah blah, some bullshit like that. So I was like, okay. So I definitely agree that grief was one of the main themes. I disagree that it dealing with deeper and more serious emotions means it can't still be a good and solid, fun superhero film. Because I think they did a good job of talking about those themes, while still putting it in with the action and the good themes and the heart and all that good stuff. It's not the same as Superman, but no,
it shouldn't be.
Nate, this is different than CBS CW Supergirl. because they just wanted Superman, but they couldn't have him, so they just made her Clark Kent Jr.
Right.
No offense, Melissa. You're great, but I appreciate that they let her be her own person in this film. And she wasn't just Superman light, that they actually, showed that she had a different upbringing. But, I think it comes back to the, anyone, it's not just about what happened to you. Anyone can choose to be good, to be, to do the right thing, to fight for what's right. And I appreciate that. So that was my thoughts.
So, Rach, you mentioned the bullshit, and while we kind of pivot to this, Ray, can you pull up the Rotten Tomato critic and audience score? Because there's been a lot of chatter around this film, Rachel. Some of it valid criticism, some of it, valid opinions about the film, but a lot of it is kind of the tried and true nonsense that you're always hear. Particularly when you have a superhero film led by a female protagonist.
What?
Like, who would have thought? Who would have thought that a film called Supergirl could spark feelings of hatred towards women? Who could have thought such a thing, right? Not in the big 2-6. But like I said, Rachel, like I think there was some tweaks that could have been made to this film to I think take it to a different level. But overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree.
But what do you make of because there's two sides. There's two kind of things. There's one kind of the way that the film was received by a lot of the critics and some of the audience, because I think the audience liked it more than the critics. But then also from a business standpoint, like I was very concerned, I think is what I'll say, Rach, when I saw the box office for Supergirl, because it's like I knew it wasn't going to make it, like off the top, I knew it wasn't going to make as much money as Superman, just because, Superman is like the biggest character they got. Yeah. Other than Batman.
He's the big one. So
yes. Yeah. But the other thing was, it's like, I don't know. Like at this point, I would say she's probably not going to get a sequel, Rach. She's probably not going to get a sequel. And also, what does this mean for James Gunn's DCU? Like we've heard this week that he's pulling out of Comic-Con, or has pulled out of Comic-Con. He's not going to do a presentation at Hall H. And so, like, it's crazy to say, because we were only 2 movies in, Rach.
I know.
Like, we know we're gonna get Man of Tomorrow, because that's already in the works, and we know we're gonna get Lanterns, because we had the trailer for that this week or last week. So we know, like, the James Gunn DC universe isn't ending, but it feels like it's gotten a little shaky real fast.
This is so frustrating to me, because I've been begging DC for years to stick with the plan and not bail at the first sign that, something doesn't go according to plan. And I mean, it's not a surprise. We've dealt with, there's been Wonder Woman, there's been Captain Marvel, both of which I thought were great movies, but they were both received with a lot of hatred on the internet. I'm certainly not, saying it was all men that received it that way, but it was, a good portion of that hatred was misogyny focused. It's unfortunate. I'll say that much. It's definitely unfortunate. I do feel like part of the filmmakers, their whole thing was a little bit, they were like, oh, well, she can't be better than Superman. So like, well, this movie can't quite be as good as Superman, but it's very frustrating, especially in the world that we're in today, that, if people see anything wrong with, especially, a superhero movie that's helmed by a woman, they'll, saying like, oh, why are they forcing these characters on us, and blah, 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 blah. And just, it's really frustrating, honestly, especially as a woman that's into, superheroes and comics related products, comics related media. That was the line I came up with when I was talking about my interests. I was like, comics related media. It's it's really frustrating because I feel like a lot of that discourse does overshadow what genuinely are good movies. I think that was definitely the case for Captain Marvel, and I stand by that movie. I think it was a good movie. Wonder Woman is like my all-time favorite movie. Wonder Woman 2017, not the sequel. It's like my all-time favorite movie. I still think that's a fantastic piece of film. And I wish this conversation didn't exist and this wasn't something that we had to deal with every time.
I'm not laughing at you, Rachel. I'm just laughing at Ray with the inappropriately timed Kal-El no drop. But here's the thing I think about it, Rach. Like, first of all, in terms of like the critics, like, again, like I didn't think it was a perfect movie, not by a long shot. And so you can have reasonable criticisms of this film. Like, another thing I didn't mention was I kind of felt Krim was kind of bland. Like, Krim didn't pop. Yeah. And you know, like it's hard, man. It's hard. Like, Krim, I know it's hard out here for a pimp because you the second film villain following one of the GOATs, Lex Luthor, and Nicholas Hoult did his thing as an antagonist to that film's lead, and now it's like I ain't got nothing but pins on my face and pockmarks and everything. What you want me to do? I'm Krim. I'm Krim,
and then
y'all.
I eat everything. I just go killing people and then eating things.
That's all I do.
There was no brand story arc. It was just evil man poisons dog.
Yes.
Shocking.
Yeah. And so there wasn't a lot of depth with the villain, with the antagonist in this film. And so, like, I get that there are some, you know, there's that infamous needle drop, Rachel, that everybody lost their minds about. Like, there's things about the film that you can critique. But I think when you talk about the fandom, that's where it gets interesting, Ray, because you had a lot of people, particularly dudes, that were out on this film before it even premiered in theaters, that had already made up their minds. And you had a lot of people that are already out on James Gunn in his vision for the DC universe. And to me, it's like Rachel said, like, every film is not going to hit for everybody. But if you are in the business of building a connected universe, you have to build it. You don't get to microwave it. Like, what everybody wants to do the Marvel thing without doing the Marvel work.
Yeah.
Marvel put in, you know what I'm saying? Everybody want to do the Marvel thing, Ray, but don't want to put in the Marvel work. Where they had to build with Iron Man, Captain America First Avenger, Thor, Iron Man 2, Thor the Dark World. Like they had some clunkers in the beginning. Incredible Hulk. They had to build, and then they got the Avengers, and then in phase 2, they hit the ground running. And so, like, you got to put in the work to build this thing. And I hope that, you know, Warner Brothers is patient, because if not, you're just going through another regime change. You know what I mean? Like, we had you know, Zach and them. Then we had like the wilderness period where Dwayne Johnson was like, "Ooh, Black Adam and DC Super Pets is my path to the throne," and they were like, "No, sorry, DJ."
Oh, it goes further than that, though, because it didn't start with Zack Snyder. It started with Superman Returns and Brandon Routh in 2006.
Yes,
because he was signed on to helm.
This is the franchise that's always been searching, Rach.
Yeah, he was signed on to helm like 3 more movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that never happened, and which I agree is a shame, because I don't think Superman Returns is particularly good, but I think Brandon Routh is an excellent Superman. And I wish.
What are some of the viewers saying, Ray?
All right. Well, to go along with your you guys' point, Charles Dorn, 1972, was saying the gosh darn chuds struck again. This film was good, better than Morbius, better than Kraven the Hunter.
Not Morbid time.
Morbius. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. No one saw Morbius and was like, "This is a bad movie because the main character is a man." Like, that was nobody's take. And I see there. I agree. There were criticisms of this movie. It was not the best movie. No, it could have been improved. None of that has to do with the main protagonist being a woman. Mm-hmm. That's not the issue here. And I wish that did not have to be a conversation. I'm tired. But
Any thoughts on
Go ahead,
Rach.
I was just going to say, I did love that, this was a movie based around Supergirl and Kara, and that her sidekick, was Ruthie, and that they were badass females, and they didn't have to have any corny girl power moments. That they were just existed, and they were the best, and they won because they were the best. So.
Imagine that. That's a concept. Just women existing. Imagine that.
Yeah, shout out to Ruthie. Ruthie, she gave me kind of slight. I know I don't want anybody out there on Al Gore's internet ready to lose their minds when I make a comparison between Supergirl and Logan, but she gave me slight Daphne Zuniga vibes.
Oh,
from Logan.
Right.
But what do you make, Ray, of kind of like not only the criticism and the noise around the film, but also again like that's something that is subjective. All the noise, something that is not subjective, Ray. This film ain't make no money, dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, and I think I had it up here. It took almost $300 million between actual production costs and marketing and print costs. And I believe thus far, I don't think there have been solidified numbers for this particular weekend yet, but I think thus far, worldwide, it's made a total of $120 million.
Damn.
So, yeah, matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna bring up the. So, yeah, I just think, I don't know what it was. It's like, and it's interesting, like this year, even though I haven't been watching the movies, I've been watching news around the movies. So
it's the next best thing.
Yes, I've been seeing like these different concepts that are kind of getting over with larger audiences. For example, like there are 2 horror movies that are pretty much doing historic numbers. Obsession is one, and Backrooms is another. And I believe Obsession has, I think it's been about around 6 or more
6, 7 range 6, 7
weeks in the top 10 domestically, and I believe I think they said it took like around $25 to $50 million to make, and it's earned like $250 to $3 million in the box office. And so I think it could be attributed to people just like audiences just wanting different things and not especially with all the marketing, like you see Supergirl and KFC and Supergirl doing this. Like,
they were pushing it. They were pushing it.
Yes.
I was just gonna say, I just think that I don't know if I don't know if it came out at the right time, and I don't know if it grabbed people right away to the point where even if those that saw it during that first weekend, it would garner a lot of word of mouth and be like, "Oh, this movie is awesome. I think everybody needs to see it."
Yeah,
so
see it.
I think,
right. I think to Nate's point though about the early Marvel movies, not all of those were in the green immediately. Some of them were in the red, and then they have the Avengers and all these things, and they say, "Oh, I need to go back and watch these movies so I get the backstory." Is that going to be the case here, where it gets views down the line because Supergirl's super awesome in the next Superman movie? We'll see.
I think some people are considering this as far as like the performance, they're considering this amongst like the lowest of like DCEU, like consider around Flash levels, which it doesn't deserve Flash levels.
And that's upsetting because the DCEU put out some bad movies that deserve that. But this movie was not a bad movie, but I hope they stick with their plan. I hope they go forward. I hope they don't try to rewrite things because that did not work out well in the past.
No.
I hope they stick with what they're doing and they say, okay, this might not have earned the most, but we think we have a good plan and we're going to go forward with it. That's what I'm hoping from DC. So.
Now, one question I do have for the both of you, and again, I pretty much borrowed this particular concept from Dan Murrell. Check him out. It's great movie historian and critic. So he has some good stuff. But he had a video said if he ran DC, these are certain things that he would do. And so I'll pose a question to you guys. He had one idea about telling Kevin Feige, "Hey, brother, you either an executive or you a filmmaker. You can't do both." So do you guys agree with that particular assessment?
Yeah. Even if it's just that, like, I generally find businesses don't work that well if you have one person filling too many roles.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily taking this out on Kevin Feige himself.
Or James Gunn.
Or James Gunn for that matter. I do think things work better when you have some people focusing on what they do best and not trying to do more than that. And I do feel like James Gunn in particular is doing a bit much at the moment. Films, shows, and he seems to be doing well with most of it. But I think the DC. Are we still calling it the DCEU?
I think it's just the DCU now.
Okay, I was going to say that because I know the old one was the DCEU, but I want to make sure we're in the DCU.
Because that's what a lot of people said after they walked out of some of those movies. EU.
I felt after Justice League. So.
Hey, it was right there, Ray. I had to grab the cheap joke.
Yeah. I think they'd be better off if they stuck to what they did best for Kevin Feige and James Gunn.
Yeah, I think, again, to borrow another thing that he had, I think, and you mentioned Kevin Feige, I think Kevin Feige probably had to make that realization. It was like, I do have an idea of where I want the MCU to go, and I just want to put the best filmmakers who they could still put their spin on it, also get to where we want to go. Like put Jon Favreau where he needs to be, and bring in the Russo brothers, put them in and do what they need to do. So I think I could totally agree with you with that one. I think James Gunn has to either humble himself and be like, hey, I'll just stay in a executive role and I'll just be like, let me find some filmmakers who I feel are doing some great things and then see what their spin on these characters will be, while also trying to make sure that things get tied together at the end, or just commit to being like, you know what, let me stay more of a filmmaker. Let me focus on directing and writing, and I'll just allow the higher ups to do what they need to do to get the right people in place to help support me while I do all this. So
I think part of James Gunn's problem, it's a double-edged sword, is that he is very loyal to people and his friends in the business. And that can be a good thing, Rachel. But it can also be a bad thing if your friend is not equipped to helm the project you put them on.
Yeah.
And I think James Gunn probably works best as the creative, which we've seen in stuff like the Guardians films, or even in like Peacemaker, where he had more of a hands-on approach with that. I think where James Gunn kind of falters is when he's trying to be Feige. Because Feige, the thing with Feige is, Feige was producing all these movies, but Feige wasn't really directing the movies. You know what I mean? Feige would let Jon Favreau cook. Feige would let the Russo brothers cook. Feige would let Ryan Coogler cook. You know what I mean? And so I think that James Gunn needs somebody he can trust in the boardroom.
Yeah.
To kind of manage that aspect. And he could be kind of the creative director of the DCU. Not that he's like micromanaging, but I think his vision is still important because he's got this roadmap. And it's like, you can't follow the roadmap if you just got rid of the man and made the map.
Right. Exactly.
You don't know where he was going.
So true. So true. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to give a shout out to David Cornsweet. He's such a good Superman, and he was like barely in this movie, but he lit up the moments that he was in. So I really appreciate him, and I'm encouraged as to where we're going, because I think he just plays Clark so well that a lot of actors have struggled. It's kind of like the what the fuck is his name? The Spider-Man actor from like the 2000s.
Oh, Andrew Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield thing, where Tobey Maguire plays Peter Parker well, Andrew Garfield plays Spider-Man well. Neither of them play both. I think a lot of Superman actors do not play Clark well. And I think David Corenswet really nails playing both Clark and Superman, and realizing that they're not different people, but just the two sides of the same coin. Yep. I think a lot of people have struggled with that in the past, and I think he does really well with that. Also, his dimples are very cute. Just saying. It's the overall, the overall Superman appearance. So I thought he did really well. I thought Millie Alcock did really well. I liked her a lot. I do feel like, she's introducing a lot of people to a character that's not that well known, because most people just know Supergirl from the CW series, and that was really a different character. So I feel like she did a good job building that on her own. And also I thought Eve Ridley was brilliant and adorable. I wanted to squeeze her cheeks and take her home. She definitely had some Arya Stark vibes at the beginning, but I appreciate that they took her in a different direction with that, and we're kind of like, no, you're not going to be a murder child. You're just going to be a child. As much as I love my murder child, Arya Stark, because I do. But that was taken from her. She didn't get to live her childhood out. And I appreciate that they said, no, you're going to be able to be a child. So I like that.
I think it just hit me, Rach, what I thought this movie was going to be versus what this movie actually was. And that's no fault to Craig Gillespie, even though I do think, like, for whatever failure this movie has to bear, he has to take like the lion's share because he's the director. But coming off of the cameo at the end of Superman, in my mind, I'm like, oh, Supergirl is going to be like female Hancock, the Will Smith movie, and I'm here for that. There's an alternate universe where Supergirl is just female Hancock, and I'm here for it. But what we got a little bit of the mess that Hancock was at the beginning of the film. But then we quickly kind of unwrapped kind of what makes Kara the person that she is. And the tone kind of shifted. And I'm not saying it was a bad tone shift, but again, I don't know how much you could have shown in that cameo, Rachel, to set people up for what they were going to see in this film. And even in the trailers, like you couldn't put out a trailer for this film with a somber tone if it's supposed to be a summer blockbuster, because that's not how summer blockbusters work. So I think they kind of did the best they could with what they had. And I did enjoy David popping up here and there, because I do kind of like the brief glimpses we've had of their dynamic.
Yeah. I think it'll be good in the Man of Tomorrow, the next movie coming out. It just occurred to me, I was thinking about the CW Supergirl and how one way they really Clark Kented her was that she was so young when she arrived on Earth, and they put her with the Danvers and like had her get shaped by the Danvers so much that she turned into much more of a Clark, where the Supergirl clearly didn't have that. And other Supergirls have been older when they got to Earth. So just thoughts about CW Supergirl that no one particularly asked for. But
all right, so final thoughts on Supergirl. Let's give Supergirl a grade, Rachel. On a scale of 1 to 5, what would you give Supergirl?
A solid 3.5, I'd say.
Okay.
I can't stick with a solid number, but I'll give it a 3.5. Definitely has a lot of potential. I think it got most of the way there. I agree with your assessment that it left something on the table, and it could have been more. But I do think in its own right, it was a solid movie. I think it explored some themes that most superhero movies do not. And I appreciate that. And I overall thought it was a good story, and I enjoyed watching it.
Okay. What about you, Ray?
I'm going to agree with Rach. I think it was a solid 7.5. Actually, as we were going through,
Are you just making up your own scales now, Ray Williams?
No, oh, sorry.
7.5. Like, damn, you liked it that much, right? You broke
7.5 out of 5.
It's like Dave Meltzer. It's like 7 stars out of 5.
Did you watch this movie in the Tokyo Dome, Ray?
Sorry, I got thrown off because, as I was about to say, I was actually rating it on IMDb as I was pulling up like different frames and stuff, and so they go by 10. So I went with 8, even though I didn't think it was an 8 out of 10 necessarily, but it didn't have any halves. So 8 out of 10 would translate to 4 out of 5. Stick with me, Nate. So I don't think it's 4 out of 5 good, but I do think it's 3.5. 3.5.
Okay. Took the long way around, but you finally made it, Ray.
Indeed.
And it's not to be boring and anticlimactic, but I think I'm in agreement with both of you. I would put it at like, initially I was like, it's better than a 3, but it's not quite a 4. Mm-hmm. Like if I gave it a 4, it would be grading on a curve, and I don't think that's fair to the movie. And so yeah, Rach, this did feel, and I don't know what they were supposed to do. And maybe that's a question for James Gunn. It's like, did you position this movie in the best position? Because this movie had to do a lot of heavy lifting in terms of informing the audience of who Kara is and why we should care about her when we see her next. It also had to set up, the brief glimpses we got of Lobo. It had to set up Ruthie, if Ruthie ever comes back. And it had to set up Krim, who nobody cared about. R.I.P. to Krim. But yeah, I think this was a solid film. There is a world where James Gunn and Craig Gillespie were on the same page and had a fine-tuned version of this film that I think connects more with the audience. But for what it was, what we got, Rach, I had a good time with it for the most part. And yeah, I'm excited to see this character show up again. So
sounds good.
All
right. And I think we have a few more things we wanted to touch on today.
Yes. So, Ray, I'm just putting this out there in case we get copyright strikes and we get sued and get sent to court on Jupiter. This is all your fault, Ray. We'll never forgive you for this. But we do have 2 trailers to check out. The first one being the Lanterns trailer. So the Green Lantern TV series coming up, produced by James Gunn, part of the DCU, which stars Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa, as John Stewart. And it stars, I can always forget the last name, Kyle. What's the Friday Night Lights coach guy, Ray, the head coach?
Oh.
Kyle Secker.
No, it's something different.
Somebody in the chat knows his name.
More common. I'll look it up real quick.
But it's Kyle something who's playing like this grizzled version of Hal Jordan, Rachel. So we've got the trailer for Lanterns, which looks like it's going to be a buddy cop kind of thing. And so we were going to check it out. And then following that, we didn't even know we were going to talk about this today, Rachel. But Kevin Feige said, you can't have a party talking about comics and stuff, comic adjacent material, comic related material without inviting Uncle Kevin. So we have the trailer for Avengers Doomsday that we're going to look at. But first, we're going to show respect to the DCU and check out this Lanterns trailer, Ray.
All right. So first of all, Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler.
I think Kyle Secker was like an actor back in the early 90s, mid 90s, something like that. It was on like China Beach or one of them shows. All right. So HBO Max presents Lanterns. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to watch this and hopefully Bugs Bunny doesn't send his goons after us.
This ring, it's the greatest weapon in the universe. When and if to use it, that's the whole ball game, Junior.
Did you just use that ring to counterfeit money?
No.
Tell me how you got it. The ring.
You know how I got it. I sure as hell didn't interview for it.
Oh, well, shit, maybe you should have. Power like that, shouldn't you have to work for it?
I've been doing this since you were a baby. The only way you're gonna get this ring is over my dead fucking body.
I think he likes me. Everybody is lying to us.
I'm not leaving here till we find out what they're hiding. Danger's part of the job. You need to be fearless.
How are you chosen for this?
It's only one question. Are you afraid? You afraid?
Are you afraid?
Oh, Guy Gardner.
Are you afraid? Are you afraid? Are you afraid?
I was raised fearless, and I'll do this better than he's ever done it before.
Then go and get it, John Stewart.
Okay.
All right.
Lantern,
All right.
August 16th. So what'd you think, Rach?
Very realistic and gritty. I admittedly do not have that good knowledge of Green Lantern. They were one of the other DC properties that was not showed in Smallville, so my first introduction to them was the Smallville season 11 comic books, Lantern's arc, because they did that for some reason. So I don't have that much background on them, but I think of them as very like superhero-y. They're like in space. It's very fantasy based, that kind of thing. But this was very much this is taking place on this Earth right now. Lots of military, lots of police stuff. So I think they were definitely seeking to ground it in reality. And I think that'll be an interesting take on it. Definitely see where it goes from here.
Yeah, like for me, Rach, like Green Lantern, particularly the Jon Stewart version of Green Lantern, has always been my favorite character. Like, funny enough, Hal was my favorite Green Lantern or my favorite superhero back in the day when I first started reading comics. But then it was like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that there's somebody with all these cool Green Lantern powers and he's black? Like, wait a second. This just got interesting. And so, like, Jon Stewart, going back to the Justice League cartoon and all of this, like, he's been one of my favorite characters. He was great on Young Justice.
He was.
And so I like the dynamic that they're doing where instead of John and Hal being like these, both of them being veteran Green Lanterns, these space cops, you've got Hal Jordan as this grizzled old, Danny Glover, I'm too old for this shit kind of cop. And he's seeing what's so great about this Jon Stewart kid. And you got Jon Stewart who's like, why should I follow the lead of this old beaten up dude? And eventually, through the power of friendship and Green Lantern rings, Rachel, they're going to come to some type of kinship, brotherhood, friendship, partnership. And I'm excited for it. I like seeing our man Nathan Fillion back as Guy Gardner. And so yes, with the same hair, with the bowl cut. Because Hal and Guy and John in the comics had a real interesting relationship. Sometimes friends, sometimes antagonists. And so I'm excited for it. It's funny, Rach, because for years the CW teased us that John Diggle was going to be a Green Lantern when the whole time they knew they didn't have Green Lantern money, Rachel.
Of course not. Of course not. They didn't have those royalties. They don't have that copyright.
Green Lantern money. And so, like, the best we got was like a tease when they didn't even show the ring, Ray. They couldn't even paint a ring green and put some lights behind it. They just had my man David Ramsey open up the box and you saw a green glow. And it's like, you're doing too much.
Only one green superhero at a time.
Yes.
Like Pulp Fiction.
Yes. What's in the box? But they never followed through on that tease of John Diggle becoming a Green Lantern. And so, like, it's cool to see Aaron Pierre in this role. I think he's a great actor. And then Kyle Chandler, it's funny because Nathan Fillion actually played Hal Jordan, or was the voice actor for Hal Jordan in a lot of the animated films. So in my head, I see Nathan Fillion as Hal Jordan, but I think they got it right, where Fillion plays a great kind of asshole in Guy Gardner, and you got Kyle Chandler as like this weary Hal Jordan. And to your point, Rach, it is more grounded, and I think that's going to play into Hal Jordan being an Air Force pilot. And Jon Stewart, for a lot of his character's history, has been like a Marine architect.
Yep.
And so, like, I'm excited for it. Like I said, Green Lantern's been one of my favorite characters since I was a kid, and so hopefully they get it right with this one, and they get it right in a way that people are excited, because the DCU needs some positive buzz.
Definitely, I agree.
What about you, Ray? You excited for this? And don't lie to us, Ray. Don't be like, oh, yeah, I'm excited for this. And then you never watch it because you watch things biannually.
I mean, two things can be true at the same time.
You're excited, but you won't watch it.
So many things can happen between now and when did they say it's coming out? Now in the
August 16th. So August, less than a month from now.
So many things can happen. But it looks promising. I dig it. I wasn't a big. I've never been, other than Batman and Superman. I haven't been like big into DC properties like that.
You're not a DC.
Well, yeah, I'm not a DC. I was born in DC, but I'm not a DC.
Fair, not all of us can be. That's fair. Not all of us are that lucky.
but like I never, especially like I've always heard about Super Friends and like other superheroes being involved and everything, but I just haven't been digging into the lore of all the other superheroes outside of the big two. So I think it'll be interesting. I have always heard about the Lanterns, and especially like you guys mentioned, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern from the animated series and the movies. Shout out to Phil Lamar.
Yes.
So, but I've never actually like got in tune with it. That's what you'll learn a lot about me. Like I know about stuff, but I ain't really watch it. Like, but I know about it. They'll be like, how you know? I don't know. I just know.
That I feel like that a lot of the time, honestly. I was like, I have a concept of this. Do I know details? No, but I have a concept.
Like Green Lantern, ain't that Ryan Reynolds? Like, no, we don't talk about that.
We don't discuss it. But yeah, I think it looked really good. I like that they're kind of. I mean, this is one thing that I just thought about. Especially when you're considering like the Peacemaker mold and how they're kind of like gritty and TVMA and only for adults. And now it kind of seems like this particular series is going to cater to adults because, he said the F word. Oh, he said all this. So it seems like this is going to be more like a more mature version of it, perhaps. But I just don't want it to go the way it was, where we're making everything mature and you're taking everything one way, but because we don't want to be on the other end of the spectrum where everything's all kiddie and everything's all made for the family and stuff like that. But I think you can find a good balance for it.
I agree.
I think while watching this film, I think they definitely want to make Aaron Pierre into like the next action hero. I remember watching the film that he was in, the Netflix film, The Hacksaw Ridge, and so it kind of had, especially with him being surrounded, it was like kind of gave me feels of that. Like they definitely want him to be like a big time like action star, like big time A-lister, and I could definitely see he could definitely pull it off. He's a great actor, as you mentioned, Brother Nate, and just having Kyle Chandler, who, like you guys mentioned, from Friday Night Lights, and I remember him. I believe it was the show Late Edition, where he would get where he would get a newspaper a day early, and then he would see that bad things are happening, so he would try to prevent those bad things from happening, so that it'll change in the newspaper. So kind of like a butterfly effect style thing.
It's like quantum leap on a budget. We ain't got no computers. We just gonna give you this newspaper.
Right. We can't go back like hundreds of years back into like the Stone Age. We could go back one day.
We can send you back a calendar day.
All right. But even in that film,
here's a copy of the Minneapolis Tribune.
There you go. Just carrying that on, keep that going. But I think like he's always shown that he could be like kind of like the lovable loaf, or kind of like that lovable guy who's flawed a little bit, but he always has good intentions. I think now you're kind of adding that, but you're making him a little bit more surlier, especially with, I guess, with all the things that he has encountered while having the ring. I guess you're probably going to see that play out in the series as well. Just the things that he's had to endure, and it's probably made him kind of like you said, Brother Nate, that I'm too old for this. I don't need to be going through all this, and I've done too much, and so
he's
I just
actively committing federal crimes, Ray, in the trailer, counterfeiting money.
So yeah, I'm my level of excitement, I would say maybe 3 out of 5.
Okay, you said that before Wonder Man too, Ray.
Hey, I watched Wonder Man, though.
Right. Now you hyped about Wonder Man.
I am.
Wonder Man was good. We liked Wonder Man.
Yeah.
I can't promise I'm gonna watch all of season 2 though. But definitely the first episode I'm gonna watch.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll commit to watching one episode of Lanterns as well. The first episode.
The only thing I'm wondering, Rach, because I did enjoy the trailer, and like I'm excited to see kind of the character dynamic between Hal and John, but I'm wondering who the villain is going to be, because traditionally you're talking about like Sinestro, in the comics, I don't know if we're going to get that crazy with the space stuff in season 1. Hopefully it gets more than one season, so it's going to be interesting who the villain is in this.
Yeah, I think just based on the trailer, I feel like it's going to be somebody on Earth.
Oh, maybe it's our man's Rick Flag out here.
Rick Flag.
On that yayo. Like, Rick Flag, you have a problem. There are programs that can get you help, sir. You can't afford it, call Better Help.
Suicide Squad movie was a fever trip.
Yes. And then he was out there acting crazy on Peacemaker. So it could very well be like a Rick Flag operation. Like maybe Rick Flag is not the big bad of this universe, but he's like the big pot stirrer.
He's up there.
Yeah.
An antagonist.
So we didn't really see a villain in that trailer, Rachel.
Yeah. Well, it seems like the villain's the American military industrial complex, clearly.
Message. But I have a feeling we may see a villain in this next trailer.
Ooh.
Because we have exclusively, so world premiere. You ain't seen nobody else talk about it in the 6 hours since it's been on the internet. But we got a trailer released this morning out of nowhere. Like Marvel just woke up and decided to choose violence today, Rachel. And was like, hey, you know that Avengers Doomsday trailer y'all been asking us about? Here, damn. and they gave us the first, like we've had little kind of teaser trailers before, Rach, with like various characters, but this is the first full trailer we've gotten for Avengers Doomsday. So I've seen bits and pieces of it. I tried to resist watching the whole thing. Rach, I think you said you caught a glimpse of it.
Yeah, like maybe 30 seconds or so.
Okay, so Ray, again, knock on wood. Hopefully, we got through without bugs taking us off the air. Hopefully, we can get through without Mickey.
This is a parody.
Yes, this is a parody. It's all a parody. Ray is Dr. Doom, Doom. So there's 3 O's, so you can't see Dr. Doom. and he's actually a medical doctor. Like he works in a hospital, so you can't sue him. He's an orthopedic surgeon.
No copyright infringement.
He's a podiatrist on the weekend, Dr. Doom. My arch is really hurting, Doc. Can you help me? Kneel before Doom. All right, enough of the preamble, Ray. We got the Avengers Doomsday trailer. Let's see what's going on.
Right.
It's done. We shall be faced with an unthinkable. Something's coming. Something we may not be able to deter. Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision.
I've fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one.
Ooh, Shang-Chi.
Everything they sacrifice will be for nothing if we do not stand together.
Nice.
Put aside your petty squabbles.
Ooh, Mystique.
Presume nothing except this. If you return,
Professor.
you will return as brothers and sisters.
Forever.
But mark my words.
Some more.
Ooh.
Damn.
We're going to need a miracle.
Hey, pal.
It's not possible.
Woo! Ooh, I love the flip on the theme. Avengers Doomsday, only Infinity Vision.
The fuck does that mean?
Woo! So December 18th is Doomsday. All right.
Countdown. Damn.
That's wild. So Ray, pause it and turn the volume down because I want to go through a couple things real quick. But Rachel, to your question. So Infinity Vision, that's the only thing I hated about this trailer. Because Infinity Vision was Disney and Marvel mad because they couldn't get all the IMAX screens.
Yeah.
Because I believe the last Avatar comes out around the same time.
Okay.
And they booked the IMAX. So this is like the Marvel's Disney version of IMAX. Infinity Vision. It's like
good to go with the corniest sounding name.
Yes. It's like we ain't even in the Infinity Saga no more. If anything, it should be Multiverse Vision, which is also a stupid name, Marvel.
So true. It is.
But that one knock against the trailer aside, Rach, what did you think?
It's good. I like it. I'm glad I was not the only one that didn't know a Marvel trailer was coming out today. Basically, it started
Rachel
playing.
Famously not a Marvel.
Not a Marvel. Started playing on my TV earlier today. And I was like, "Oh, the fuck is this?" Felt like halfway through it. It's like, "Oh, I guess this is the new Avengers thing going on." And then it was like, then I got a message from Nate. He's like, "Oh, did you see the Avengers Doomsday trailer?" And I was like, "Kind of." I guess that's what that was.
That's what that thing was.
Doomsday makes sense. I get it. Good thing I saw X-Men. Very glad I saw X-Men.
Yes.
It looks exciting. I think they're definitely going to have to try to deal with this not being a second-rate Avengers movie because they already did all the main characters. So this is like the second string, basically.
Right.
But I like that they're pulling in the X-Men. Oh, I meant the Fantastic Four movie, not the X-Men.
Pause it, Ray,
I saw
pause.
the Fantastic Four movie. I did not see the X-Men movie. I should see the X-Men movie. So I think they're going to be having to work against themselves a bit there about, oh no, these aren't the second-rate Avengers. These are the just as good Avengers. But it looks like it has a lot of potential. I'm very excited to see Robert Downey Jr. As Dr. Doom, who I now know who that character is. So very excited. But it looks good. I definitely need to catch up on some Marvel movies because I have not seen the subsequent Black Panther movies or any of the X-Men movies, but I'm down to see them. So
nice.
Yeah.
So Ray. So in this shot, so like Rachel's saying, like these aren't like the classic, the OG Avengers. This is so coming off of Thunderbolts, you've got two sets of Avengers. You've got Sam Wilson's Avengers and you've got the new Avengers, the Thunderbolts. Hey Ray, they're the new Avengers, man. I don't know if you knew that. And you got Thor as like trying to be the adult in the room, bringing everybody together. Because Thor sounds scared in this trailer, Rachel.
Oh yeah, he does.
Thor is shook. He's like, I've seen a lot of things, but nothing like this. Like you just fought Thanos twice, my boy, and you scared of this new character,
right?
But in this, so we see Sam right there, Captain America. And we see Ant-Man on the far right. Who's that in the middle?
Bucky.
That's okay. So I thought that was Bucky at first, but I was like, here's the thing. This how you know it was a good trailer, Rachel. I'm asking the trailer to answer questions that the movie is supposed to answer, which is why the trailer's getting me hyped for the movie. Because I'm sitting there like, last time we saw you guys, you were fighting. So why are you standing together now, Sam and Bucky? And the trailer's like, just watch the damn movie, man. I'm not gonna tell you right now. But we saw the Fantastic Four walk in. We saw Shuri and M'Baku. You can play it now, Ray. Shuri and M'Baku from the Black Panther series. And to me, it's just like, I think a lot of the criticism for this, Rachel, this film, both Doomsday and Secret War, the next Avengers movie, is that it was basically kind of retreading things where we got Robert Downey Jr. back. We're going to talk about somebody else that came back here in a second. You're bringing the Russo brothers back. All right, pause it, Ray. I've been waiting my whole life for this, Rachel. We got Gambit versus Shang-Chi.
I do know who that is.
You say you did know who that was?
I do know who. No, I did know who that is. I have some X-Men knowledge. I haven't seen the new movies, but I've got some X-Men knowledge.
Sean, look at my boy Sean. Sean, like, I've been waiting 7 years to be back in the. It ain't been that long, but it feels like it's been that long. Sean had one movie, and they was like, "All right, well, Shang-Chi will return." He ain't returned.
We'll get back to you.
5 years, Rachel.
At some point.
Oh, Shang-Chi and Gambit, like this. This is back to the point I was trying to make, Rachel, before I started fanboying out. I understood people like Brittany, like, pause it, Ray. Pause it, Ray.
Go back.
I understood why people like Brittany are like, I don't know, going back to RDJ, it feels kind of lazy, creatively, kind of like you're just trying to cash in. But my whole thing was, if you have the right creative team behind the thing, even if it seems like a retread idea, if the story warrants it, they can make it work.
Yeah.
And so, like, at the beginning of the trailer, we had Robert Downey Jr. with some kind of accent, which was good. And then we got Loki out here on these streets, Rachel. Ray, I'm gonna let you go. Ray, because
anybody out these days.
Ray, what do you make of this trailer, man?
I think I expressed it at the end of us watching it. I couldn't hold it back, brother. Inject it into my veins. Now, and I know, OG Rich. I know you're not a Marvel. I am a Marvel. Definitely a Marvel. At least an MCU Marvel. I should say.
Right.
So
you didn't get this excited for Morbius, Ray.
No, not at all.
I don't think anyone got that excited for Morbius.
Maybe Jared Leto.
Maybe
I got a
Jared
little
Leto
excited.
Just him.
A little excited for Craven, but then I heard about it and I was like, nah.
Craven was disappointing. That man, Loki, look at him, Ray. He thinking, man. He probably thinking, man, am I gonna get to see my brother before one of us dies in these movies? I don't even know.
Or before somebody snapped my neck, like in the
yep,
like in Infinity War. But yes, I am thoroughly. This has me thoroughly pumped up to see what happens. The one conspicuous absence, and I think this may lead later into what we talk about. No Spider-Man yet, so they're being really, really intentful, especially dropping this particular trailer and not showing any Spider-Man or anybody from that particular universe just
no
yet.
Spoilers. Can't do any spoilers.
Indeed. So it'll be interesting how brand new day will feed into Doomsday. So that's the big question mark that I have about this, but I'm loving seeing all the band back together, but also seeing like some new faces.
Yes. Play it right so we can see Mystique on these streets. Mystique is out here.
And especially
honestly,
I'm
I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, that's another movie I didn't see. Like we're gonna have to do some movie watching before December.
All the
that's
homework.
Okay.
Do that. Got some homework, but
you got 4 months, Rach.
Shang-Chi looks good. Oh, I can watch that.
Shang-Chi was fun.
I can't believe that they brought back. Yeah, there she goes. But they brought back Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Right there, man. Look, they got a man, Professor X in the building.
Yep.
He said, I got one more within me.
That's some old Mutants.
But yeah, I can't believe that. And like, cause he was we thought he was just like a throwaway part in Deadpool and Wolverine, but apparently they're just bringing them right into like the full MCU, which has me believe if he was able to make it out of that particular battle, do we see Blade?
Ooh.
Who else do we see come back? So now this got me thinking all types of things now. So
Rach, I'm excited for this, but you can't fool me. Oh, Sam, we see you, Sam. Pause it when we got Namor in the building. Namor and Sue, they got a rocky history. Pause it right there.
Oh, that's such a good
shot. Man, he didn't even put up both his hands, right? He's just like, no, sorry, not gonna work. Dr. Doom, y'all. The real Dr. Doom. But the only thing, Rachel, and again, this is something that like we just gotta wait till the movie to see it. I'm excited to see all these characters, particularly like these X-Men from the 2000s X-Men films.
Watch all
on here, movies. But it's also like y'all probably gonna be the people that die.
Yeah,
because Doom gonna collect some bodies in this film.
Like he mentioned off top, you're gonna have to face I don't know how he framed it, but you're gonna have to face a extraordinary choice or something like that. So Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom said you're gonna have to face an extraordinary choice, which my theory is he's going around killing all these worlds. All these, because we saw like it at the end of the Marvels where Monica gets sucked into like the X-Men universe through the incursions and stuff. Spoilers, I ain't seen it.
You ain't seen it, right? You part of the problem. You part of the patriarchy. You was probably like, "Ooh, women superheroes. Who needs that?"
I wouldn't do that. I actually liked the first Captain Marvel. While everybody was hating on it, I liked the first.
Touched, Rach, truly touched.
But Rach, are you intrigued? Because I think we talked about it before when Brittany was on Super Salad the last time. are you more or less intrigued by Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom after seeing the trailer?
Definitely more intrigued. Yeah, because I famously did not know who was Dr. Doom after.
Yes.
After watching the Fantastic Four, and now I was like, damn, good thing I watched that movie. Otherwise, I'd be really clueless about this trailer. Definitely more intrigued. I'm very intrigued if they're going to explain his casting. Because obviously that's a familiar face for some of them. So I hope they have a really good explanation for that, because I want a really good explanation. But yeah, no, I'm definitely intrigued. I want to see what he's going on, and he's a villain that's scaring Thor more than Thanos. I want to see the reason behind that.
My boy Thor is shook. All right, Ray, play. Let's keep it going, and then pause it when we get Steve Rogers here at the end, because I heard the rumors, Rachel.
It's not who I thought they were going to show. When I saw Thor saying it's impossible, that's not who I thought was going to be on the screen.
Who'd you think it was going to be?
I thought it was going to be Robert Downey Jr.
It's Dr. Doom and he was seeing his face?
Yeah.
Okay, that would. Who knows, Rachel? Like, that might be because Marvel be lying in these trailers. That might be a line taken from when he sees Dr. Doom's face.
It's possible.
And they just used it over this scene. But that's my boy. My boy's back, Ray. And for those that don't know who this is, this man's name is Steven Rogers, Ray Williams. Okay. And I want to correct some of the people online. Like, you're not all the way incorrect, but you are technically incorrect, because everybody's like, oh man, Captain America's back. Captain America's back. Look, it's Captain America, Ray. No, Steve Rogers is back, because we have a Captain America, and his name is Sam Wilson. And I'm waiting for the scene, Rachel, when Sam and Bucky see Steve, and it's just grown men hugging each other and crying in the spirit of friendship.
Yeah, because and with some of those mini teasers that they had, they did specifically say Steve Rogers will return. So this is another question mark that it's like, how he was an old man. How did he come back? Like, I
have a theory, but I'm not going to share it.
Wobbly, timey-wimey.
Yes, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, Rachel. Rip Hunter went back with the Wave Rider and got him.
Hey, Legends cameo. They're out of time prison, more than just that throwaway line on the Flash. I'd be happy. You know what? I wouldn't even be mad that they're showing up in a Marvel property. I'd be like, sure, let's do it. Come on. Ava Lance wedding
brought us here.
You got an Ava Lance wedding. Ava Lance child.
No, this looks good, man. Like, this, the movie this could be the best we get from this film, Ray. Like, there's a world where this is the best we ever get from Doomsday, and then the movie, when we watch it, we're like, this
super disappointing.
This is like Ant-Man 3 level. This is like, nobody wants this.
Oh no.
But no, this trailer got me excited. Like, I love seeing Chris Evans back. This man talking about, I'm never going to return to the role of Captain America. And then I guess, them checks and whatnot. And he was like, what?
Like a liar.
Right. Well, and then again, look, I showed myself to be a hypocrite, because technically Chris Evans could say, I didn't return to the role of Captain America. Exactly. I returned to the role of Steven Rogers.
Rogers, yes.
So true. So true.
This is going to be good.
And just
That'll
like
be good.
Just like Andrew Garfield when No Way Home came out. Like, we'll give you a little bit of cushion to lie to us. Like,
oh man, but yeah, this looks like it's gonna be a fun one. Hopefully they stick the landing, and this is just part 1 of 2.
Hope so.
Because we got Secret Wars coming out the following year, I believe, next year. So Avengers Doomsday, December 18th.
I think so.
Only in Infinity Vision, Rachel.
December. I'm trying to hold my excitement. 4 months. Oh, that'll the countdown. I'm trying to hold my excitement. I'm not trying to act a fool while we on air, but I definitely want to go off. This is great. And it's 2.5 minutes. Got me all hyped up.
That's what I was gonna say, Rachel. Because I totally lost my train of thought, because we were fanboying and fangirling out. But I think all of the rockiness of this past phase, like the multiverse saga in Marvel, which is it's had highs and lows. It's had films that were really great and underappreciated, and then it's had films that were like I still think Ant-Man Quantumania is one of the worst Marvel films ever made, or MCU films, should I say?
I may not watch that one.
Films. No, you don't have to, because the main antagonist ain't gonna be in this one. Spoiler alert. But I think if you have a talented enough screenwriter and talented enough directors, they can take kind of the hodgepodge of a batch of ingredients that the multiverse saga was and boil it down to what the MCU has always been about. It's been about these characters. And why do we care about these characters and the relationships the characters have? So like even something as small as seeing Sam and Bucky standing next to each other in that scene after what they've been through their last two films, it's like, I want to know what's going on with Sam and Bucky. I want to know why Thor is so shook, like what he's seen. What you know, Thor, what you know? I want to know like what Loki's got going on, like is the moment when he reunites with his brother, because they have to. What are we going to get from that? These X-Men's out here, like how are they going to play into the picture?
That'll be interesting, because they've been doing their own thing for a while.
Shang-Chi, like, man, I've been trying. Y'all ain't put me in no movies. Y'all done had like 12 movies since my movie. I could have been in one of them.
And didn't they another movie that I didn't see, but the Eternals, didn't they allude kind of to him in the Eternals? Or they had one movie where they had like one of the villains or one of the people that were related to the Shang-Chi.
Oh, yeah. I think that was Eternal. So Eternals, that was there you go. We need a miracle.
Where is it?
Did somebody say you needed a miracle? He didn't say that, but in my mind, that's what he said. Steve Rogers. Woo! This is gonna be good.
Oh, I can't wait. I feel like I'm overly excited. Y'all not as hyped as Whitney. Well, again, Rachel, I know you're not a Marvel.
Rachel's not a Marvel, though. I think for Rachel not being a Marvel, Rachel is and somebody who had doubts about Dr. Doom, I think Rachel's intrigued at least.
I would say I'm heavily intrigued. So we'll say.
Heavily intrigued, right? Heavily.
I'm known to enjoy a Marvel film or two in my day.
But real quick, Rachel, as we kind of start to wrap things up, Doomsday comes out in December.
Yes.
We got one more stop before we go to Doomsday. We gotta head back to New York City, Rachel. Bing bong, and hang out with Spider-Man. I don't know if he was at the Knicks parade, but Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out later this month. Are you excited for that one?
I am, especially after, because is this the same universe as Daredevil's New York City?
Yes.
They always changing things up on me. Okay, so that's going to be very interesting to see.
Because didn't we watch the trailer on one of the last Super Salads, and Mickey tried to shoot us?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yes, because that's the first trailer when Spider-Man's like, "Go home, Frank."
Yeah,
with Frank Castle.
Go home, Frank. You're drunk.
He whipped his mouth when he was about to drop an F-bomb. So
yes.
I definitely am intrigued to see that New York City and to see Spider-Man. I'm a big Tom Holland fan. I think he does a great interpretation of the character. I've enjoyed seeing him so far. So, and him with Zendaya is always great. So,
yeah, like they've released a couple trailers since the first one. I haven't watched them, Ray. Like ESPN tried to sneak one in last night. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I had to turn the channel because I didn't want to know anything more than what we'd already seen. But and anybody, if you're watching, any thoughts on the Doomsday trailer or Spider-Man Brand New Day? But I am intrigued by Spider-Man in Rachel's terms. I'm heavily intrigued. Maybe even super heavily intrigued by Spider-Man Brand New Day. Like I want to see what's going on with Hulk. I want to see what's going on with Punisher. This mysterious female character that some people are saying maybe Jean Grey. Some people are saying maybe Black Cat, maybe somebody else. We don't know. I'm excited because, like Rachel said, Tom Holland is kind of the one that, much like David Cornsweet, with Superman, being able to play a good Clark and a good Superman. I think Tom Holland was the one that cracked the code on being a good Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man.
Yes, I agree.
So I'm excited for it, man. Like he got the organic web shooters back, Ray, or getting them back, getting them for the first time in this universe. So yeah, this is gonna be fun, man. What are you thinking, Ray?
Yeah, I am intrigued. Maybe not.
Don't come out here and not after you was all happy and giddy and clapping for Doomsday. Don't come out here and throw shade at Spider-Man, Ray.
I'm not throwing shade. I am intrigued, not heavily intrigued, but I am intrigued by what they do with this particular universe and how they tie him together. That's the biggest thing. Like I was mentioning before, just the question mark of how is what kind of role is Spider-Man going to play in Doomsday as well, along with, like you guys mentioned, him bringing along maybe some of the Defenders along with him. So, it'll be interesting to see how that plays into that. But I'm definitely excited.
It's going to break Matthew Murdock out of prison.
We did see him in prison in the trailer.
Just going to break him out. Come on, Tom Holland, you got this. Sorry, Ray. Continue.
No worries. Matter of fact, yeah, here we go. Oh, not that one. Here we go. All right.
Yes.
I'm boss. So, but yeah, and I definitely, at least like you, Brother Nate, I try to stay away from anything that came after that initial full trailer, just so I could go into the full movie. Just so I could go into the full movie with just a fresh mindset. And this may shock you, but I actually my first time watching No Way Home was like a year after it came out because I'm like,
damn,
like you still ain't see it. I think I went to like a comic book convention and it was like a year and a half had passed by. And I mentioned it and they were like, "You still ain't see that movie?" So
you need to leave.
Yeah. So I think it was around Christmas and they were doing like a special screening, and I was like, let me go ahead and check this out, see what is on, see what the hype is about. But yeah, I definitely want to see how everything relates to the decision that Peter Parker made from that last film, as far as having people pretty much wiping his existence out, and pretty much starting from square one, and seeing how that affects his life moving forward, as well as those that he was close to, especially with MJ, who they're still not calling Mary Jane for some reason. I don't know why.
But, they're waiting for it. They'll do it eventually. It's like they're still not doing it. Okay.
Maybe that'll come in Doomsday. They finally seen it. MJ and what's my guy's name? Ned. Yeah, so it'll be cool to see how they relate those things and tie those things back together. And yeah, I'm excited. Again, just cautiously.
Now you're excited. Now you want to get excited.
Optimistic, cautiously optimistic. But you know, when they drop that, and like you said at the end, when the boom, 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 like, in my veins.
That was the Doom remix.
They had to slow it down for y'all.
I said, "Fuck you on the beat, ho." Oh man, yeah. This is a good season. This is a good season for Marvel. Rach. We had because like Marvel's had a bit of a comeback. Again, I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, Marvel fell off or Marvel's dead, and now it's like, oh, Marvel's back. To me, Marvel, like most properties, Rachel, that are long running, you're gonna have great years, peak years. You're gonna have mid years. You're gonna have occasionally a bad year, but what does the franchise do for the long run? And I think they're setting up for some good stuff. Wonder Man was good. X-Men 97, low key, has been a good show. And low key was a good show.
Yes, it was.
And then I think Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to hit. And then if Doom, here's the thing, Rachel, sometimes in life, we all know this, you don't have to go above and beyond. Sometimes if you just do your job, that's all anybody wants. So like they don't have to make Citizen Kane with capes on. Just do your damn job, Feige, with Doomsday, and I think we'll be all right, Rachel.
So true. So true.
Whew. I've never seen this man Ray Williams excited about nothing this much in his life, Rachel. This man was actively giddy.
No, November can't come soon enough.
Why not? Why November and not December?
Is it December? Oh yeah, it is December.
Yeah,
so like you want to go forward. Well, are you going forward in time 1 month so you can buy your tickets?
Maybe.
I've only got to wait 4 weeks.
It's like, oh man, I got
a plan.
I added an additional month. Oh man, dang it.
So Ray, are you going to break your streak and go to the movies 3 times this year?
Oh yeah, because it's Spider-Man. Ooh. you just dropped that on me. I might have to, even though I'm wasting all this money on the Regal pass.
Regal loves to see Ray Williams coming. Like, oh, he gonna pay $50 for this pass and only go to one movie every 6 months.
It's a great deal for them.
Return on investment, boys.
I know, right?
But yeah, I'm excited, Rachel. Like this, it's a good time. Like even. Like again, people can have their opinions on what they want, what they like, and what they don't like. But I think if you are just a fan in general of like comics related content, as you say, my friend, like this is we're eating good right now.
We are. We're doing good.
Anything else, my friend?
No, I think we're good. I think we can wrap up.
Okay. Well, shout out to everybody for tuning in to Super Salad, a lively edition of Super Salad. Again, this man Ray Williams was so excited to hear Tony Stark with a Bulgarian accent, Romanian accent, something. But Ray, appreciate you for actually watching the material this week and chopping it up with us about Supergirl. So anything you want to promote and let the people know where they can find you, sir.
Indeed. Well, yeah, I, of course, had to do my homework. I knew I was gonna have a pop quiz, so had to do my homework. But yeah, always a pleasure joining both Brother Nate and Sister Rachel. So yeah, you could just find me right here on Nefarious Media Network, where I'm most likely just opining on sports topics as well as pro wrestling topics over here, and my specialty, mixed martial arts, in which I have a new series that had debuted a couple weeks ago called This Week in MMA, where I just do a quick rundown and reviewing some of the cards that happened in the past and previewing some upcoming cards in the future, as well as any news, notes, and tidbits that happened throughout the week. So be looking out for that. Every Saturday, I'm gonna commit to having it out every Saturday, around noon Eastern, so that way you can indulge in that information before there are any big cards that are coming up, or if there are any smaller cards within the major promotions like the UFC, like PFL, One Championship Wrestling, maybe even eventually MVP MMA on these streets. So we'll see what happens with that. But that'll be the weekly show, and then the monthly show, which is usually right after every premium numbered event for the UFC Ultimate Fighting Championships. Myself and the good brother Main Event Jay Lacey get together and do an extensive recap of each of the premium numbered events for an extended look, and that's the main show, Styles Break Fight. So be on the lookout for that as well. We just had one a couple weeks ago, diving into the barn burner That was Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway 2. So we go into much more detail for that one. But for just the quick hits and quick notes and news, tune in every week for This Week in MMA. So that's all I got.
Okay, good stuff, Ray Williams. Again, you can check Ray out here at the Nefarious Media Network with his various programs, as well as in Superman, Man of Tomorrow, as the voice actor for Crypto the Superdog. So we proud of you, Ray. You made it out the mud, brother.
Arf, arf, arf. That's 100,000 right there.
Perfect.
Gonna get on that Vin Diesel I Am Groot
exactly
playing.
Yes.
Like, the boy got paid millions of dollars to say 3 words. As for me, you can check me out here on the Nefarious Media Network with shows like The Kings of Sport, with shows like The Parlay, of course, Super Salad here with OG Rach. And, you know, we got a lot going on. But if you want to help us out, you know, because we don't have Ray Williams voice actor money in the bankroll yet. So
Not yet.
$3 get you in the door. Head to the Patreon, subscribe for exclusive audio and video content, including shows like the Avengers Initiative, which is a Marvel-specific show featuring myself, Brittany Monet, and Jennifer Smith. And hopefully if schedules align, because that's always the concern, hopefully when schedules align, we can do like a big crossover with Super Salad and the Avengers Initiative when Doomsday comes out. You know,
Perfect.
We'll have lots to talk about. But for everything else, just follow me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or Threads or Blue Sky. And I'm not even going to shout out my handle. You got to do the work. I'm not giving you the answers to the test. But it's been a fun episode, man. If you haven't seen Supergirl, check it out, man. Form your own opinion about the film. And you know, so if you want to see more stuff like Supergirl, you need to support it, you know, financially, because that's the way the world works, because we do live in a capitalist society. So go check out Supergirl and let us know what you thought. And we'll probably be back next month, Rach, to talk about Spider-Man.
Yes,
and,
of course.
You know what I think we should do, Rachel? Not to tell you how to do your job because it's your show, how misogynistic of me. But I think we should aim for maybe like the week of the 16th or the following week. So that way we can talk about Spider-Man and Lanterns.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in California on August 16th, but
You going to a con?
well, yes, technically it's called KCON LA, but it's mostly a giant K-pop concert. So.
Yes, Rachel's other
my other hobby. Yeah, I'm going to be in California on the 17th, but
okay.
Maybe do the week after that. I'm down to talk about both. So
Okay, that'll work. So right now we'll pencil it in for the 3rd week in August.
perfect.
And
All right.
So Rachel, this is your show, despite what the patriarchy will have you believe. So let everybody know where they can find you, my friend, and send us home.
So brave of you to feature woman-led media on your network. Well, surely.
I mean, we've been review bombed since episode 1, Rachel, but we're gonna stick with the plan. We're not gonna panic.
Got to fight that patriarchy. Thank you. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and I think on Threads probably at Rachel Eiley. That's RACHELEILEY. I don't have enough followers to just not give you the handle and throw it out like Nate. So give you the handle. But yes, echoing what Nate said, if you like Supergirl, please go support it. I thought it was a very fun movie, and we'd like to see more from DC and more of what this vision is. So support it with your capitalist dollars. All right, friends. We are going to take this one out, and we will see you soon on another episode of Super Salad. Bye.
Bye, Dr. Doom.